Hey, how you doing? It's Clayton Teeney from the First Home Buyer Club. 100 lessons in 100 days, day 49, lesson 49. I'm here with one of my senior property coaches, Ben Lee, and what we're going to discuss today is his first home experience. Now, firstly, Ben, how you doing today?
Doing good, Clayton. Yeah.
Awesome. Now, what happened? I'll paint a little bit of a picture. Ben and his now wife purchased their own home, and it was probably about four-ish years ago.
Yeah, about 4 years ago.
Awesome. So I'll get you to tell the rest of the story. What happened?
Yeah, I guess there's two parts to the story. One is obviously we bought the house and the house itself was awesome.
Yeah.
But I guess what you're wanting me to tell people about is the challenge we had around with the mortgage broking and actually obtaining finance.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me a bit more.
So what happened was we spoke to one mortgage broker and we thought we'd done everything right. At that particular time, we had very little debt. We had $30,000 in savings. We were very reasonable with the overall purchase price of the property that we're trying to purchase as well. And they said they couldn't help.
Yeah.
And we're kind of pretty devastated at that point. So me having friends like yourself in the industry, I kind of went, well, this doesn't seem right. So I went and found another broker to see if he could help out. And again, so he said, nah, given your circumstances and what I see here, we can't help. And then I had a friend of mine, he put me in touch with another mortgage broker, and he's like, yeah, this is a deal all day. Like this, we can help you all day, every day. So that probably took about nearly 6 weeks to go to speak with one broker, wait for them to get all of our paperwork, and us kind of freaking out about whether or not that we can purchase this place that we really wanted to buy. But once we did get in, it was really good.
You know what? And I can't actually take the credit for sending Ben to the right broker. That was someone else. But, the funny thing is that especially when we are buying our own home, it doesn't matter if it's first, second, third, 20th, you still get that little bit of apprehension when you're going through that process. Kind of like when you get pulled over by a police officer when you're driving, right? Even though you're doing 50 in the 60 zone, you're like, man, was I speeding? Was there something going on? You start to think to yourself. And, it's often we let the fear overcome us or overtake us and get through there. Now, there were some really good things. And, as Ben said, he does love the place. But tell me, what happened 12 months after you moved in?
Well, so we were really the place that we bought it with the intention to become an investment property. So it was the mortgage repayments that we were paying for it were less than we were paying in rent, which helped us improve our sort of our cash flow, get more equity into the home, so then we could then use that to purchase again. But now, 3 years on, we've got it rented out, and we've had 2 tenants in that time. Absolutely no issues. Got a great property manager that's been looking after it, and the mortgage repayments, principal and interest, are only $5 short. So we've only got to take out of my pocket to put into that property an extra $5 to cover that off. So that's our first investment property for Amy and I to help us get ahead in life.
Awesome. Now, obviously, $5 is one large coffee. And, it's funny how many coffees we buy over the week. Now, the second thing what I wanted to talk about is I came into the conference room yesterday, overheard Ben speaking to a couple of clients. And tell us a little bit about that. What happened?
So I really felt really bad for my clients that have come through to me, because they've had this terrible experience where they turned up on the day to a company and they actually signed the build contract, the land contract, and got all of their paperwork, and pretty much sight unseen, without even knowing whether or not they could afford it, whether or not they could get finance. They then went and purchased, went to the bank to see if they could get the loan, which then they got denied from that, which now goes on their credit file. But they didn't communicate that with them either. That's what's happened to them.
I really want to urge everyone. One thing I always say is, don't purchase a home based off your borrowing capacity. Purchase it off your lifestyle. And what I mean by that is, if you're renting at $400 a week and you're saving $200, that means your capacity every week is $600. It doesn't mean that you can get a mortgage at $650, $700, $800, or $900 per week, because it's outside of your current living standards. So what your first thing you need to do is make sure that your current lifestyle and your budget can support the house that you're about to purchase. And if it can't, go back to the drawing board. Let's work together to make sure that it is in a position or you are in a position to afford it before we make that next step, because that's one thing that's really scary, that there's companies pushing you to jump into your own home without even talking about the numbers, without even talking about what you want in a home and really understanding that. Now, the last thing I want to talk about today is that there are some developers at the moment, especially with the Home Builder Boost, First Home Buyer Grant, loan deposit scheme, all these incentives out there. And what the developers are doing, because the land's been tied up, is one, they're needing some sort of pre-approval letter, if that's direct from the bank or from a mortgage broker, which that's fine because you don't want to rush in before you understand. The second thing is some developers out there are actually making clients go unconditional on contract signing. I'd be very wary of signing that, because here's the problem. You don't know what's going to happen in 12 to 18 months' time. And it's a massive risk to hope that things are just going to be perfect, right? So, like if you lose your job between now and 18 months' time, or for some reason you financially can't purchase, bad luck. You're going to lose all the savings you put in, and generally a lot of them are asking up to 10%. Then they're going to take you for other costs to be compensated for those losses. So one thing I really urge is make sure you're prepared before you buy your own home. If you're not working with someone like ourselves that's getting you prepared, make sure you understand those numbers yourself.
I'd even just put a note, if you are going through this process, because I have been speaking to a lot of people lately that have been speaking with other companies or in the process with other companies. If you've got some questions, just reach out through Facebook, or even comment on here and just say, hey, we're a little bit concerned about this. Could we ask you a couple of questions about a situation, because we just don't know who to turn to. And look, we're happy to kind of give free advice, and I'd rather see people be able to get into a home and that process not be stressful. And if we help you out and give you some free advice, maybe you might tell our friends or family about us, and we'll help you out that way.
Perfect. And if you jump on our Facebook page, it does have our landline number if you don't want to actually put it online as well. And you can call the office, and we'll arrange with one of the coaches to call you and discuss what's best for you. All right, Ben, anything else you want to chat about today before we switch off?
No, that's it, guys. I'm looking forward to having some calls with some people over the next couple of days and getting in their home. So hope to see some of you soon.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a good day. See ya.